My full name is Yara Shahidi. In Farsi, Yara is somebody close to your heart. Sayeh actually means shadow, and Shahidi roughly translates to witness, which means my name is somebody close to your heart, shadow witness. And I feel like I'd just use my middle name and my last name if I ever became a spy. Being happily half-Iranian and happily African-American, I've been able to witness just the importance of culture and the importance and beauty of my heritage. I'm a foodie, my father's a foodie, and that's something that I've inherited. I love reading. I feel like I live my life through books because I love them. I'm wearing my James Baldwin shirt right now, actually. I feel like education has always been important to me because I come from a family of educators. My grandpa from Minnesota, where I was born, used to recite the Gettysburg Address as like my nap time story. And so you could say that has something to do with it. I mean, I've been a student as long as I've been an actor, if not longer, and there I was at the Emmys and the SAG Awards with all of like my favorite people ever. Here I am talking to people that I love. Oh, I heard Angela Davis speak. Like, I've had all of these moments in my life that have been so trippy and surreal, and yet getting into college was possibly like just such a pivotal moment for me. I think 6 of the decisions came out at once, like at the same time. So I had all of the pages pulled up and I clicked from thing to thing and I was like, oh my God, I got in! I think I was crying. At the end of the day, I feel like Harvard is just the right fit. I think my interest in acting comes from my interest of people, and my interest in people comes from school. Education has been at the center of this entire journey, and I feel like everything else has really, truly been such a happy accident of like, I somehow slipped my way onto a comedy series. And I think being on a set like Blackish is a good place to grow up, because if there's any way you would want to experience the growing up from being a kid to a young adult, it's on that set. We tell these stories that seem so specific to a Black middle-class Californian experience, and yet and still you look at the demographic of our audience and you see that everybody's relating to the storylines. The method of Blackish is really like, let's talk about a stereotype and then let's break down why it exists, and let's break down why it doesn't apply most times to most people. I think a lot of times we have a conversation about diversity and the need for diversity, but diversity only really implies that you see many different types of faces on your screen versus really taking it a step further to representation and this idea of it matters what storylines are being told. So many times there are people that have to look around them, whether it's billboards or on their TV screen or within Congress or whatever it may be, and see people that don't look like them, which kind of mentally, unconsciously limits their own expectation of themselves. So many times there are stereotypes about the characteristics one has if you're of a certain ethnicity. And for some reason, just the way I speak or this idea of wanting to be educated wasn't Black or Iranian. And I know people have to deal with things that are 100 times worse, and I think that motivated me to be active. And so Yara's Club is a collaboration between me and the fabulous Ann Tish, who is the head of the Young Women's Leadership Network, which is about 12 schools in the New York area that are really helping girls that do not have the same access to resources, whether it's furthering their education or just being more interested in topics that they're studying. I knew that I wanted to be involved on a regular basis, and Yara's Club was the way to do that. So we may say, okay, this is a topic we want to cover, and this may be a piece of reading that inspires that topic. But other than that, it's an open forum. I like the fact that we took what we were talking about in the club out of the theoretical and really tried to apply it to everyone's life, and so that we felt like we were actually walking away with something. And the purpose of the Giving Key is basically, it's something that somebody gives to you, and it's a trait, a quality that you exemplify or something you're trying to attain. The point of it is for it to always be in use. And so once you feel as though you have fulfilled what your key has said, you pass it on to somebody else. What I love is that just kind of circulates and helps as many people as possible. Coming up, I have my TV show Grownish, which is a spin-off of Blackish that follows my character Zoe at college. I got the call and like, hey, Yara, are you down for a spin-off? And I was like, yes, let me think about it. What does this mean? And the best thing is I found out that my mama knew 5 days before, but she was just waiting for me to finish college applications before I thought about possibly starting a new show. We want it to be such an authentic experience. Of course, it's gonna be a comedy, and yes, there may be some things that are heightened for the sake of telling a funny story, but we have this beautiful space to talk about the realities of being on a campus in this day and age. And so, because I'm living through it, as of right now, I feel like I'm actually really excited. And I think what's strange is like Zoe's growing up. Oh my goodness, like forget Yara growing up, Zoe is growing up. And I'm like, what is she gonna get herself into now? I am in an industry that quite literally pays you to be somebody else. But I'm like, I'm 17, I'm still living life and figuring it out. And to be part of many communities that support me for who I am outside of work and for what I authentically believe in is something special. And it's also led to having a beautiful support network of Gen Z peers, whether I've met them online or in real life, of kids that are passionate and kids that realize that we're not alone, but we're in this together when it comes to being passionate about the world around us.